Everybody, we're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to give people a chance to get on. We've got about 2-3 minutes until we get started. So I'm just going to hang out here and chill for a minute. All righty. How's everybody doing today? We're still a little bit early, but hey, we can have a little conversation if you want. Why don't you tell me who you are and where you're from? Put it in the, how about in the questions? Tell me who you are and where you're from. I can see, oh, there's a lot of people on here. Who can I see? There you are. Sierra from PA, the only person who's brave enough to speak up so far. Tara from Maryland. Kendra from Salt Lake City, Utah. Where in Salt Lake City? Oh, Allison, long time no talk. I'm actually going to talk about you today, Allison. You're going to make a surprise appearance in this webinar and you didn't even know it. All righty. We're about ready to get rolling here. All righty, let's see who else we have here. Tara, Tom, Vanessa. Where were you in Salt Lake City? I didn't get that. I'm in Utah, but I did not see where you're at in Utah. Maybe close by, who knows? Glad to be on here. UK, EU, all right. Jurgen, nice to have overseas folks on here. All righty, lots of people. Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining me today for the webinar. Yeah, we're just going to jump in. I'm super excited about this. We're talking about our conferences coming up. As you can see on the screen, I'll be looking at my second screen over here. So if I'm not looking directly at the camera, that's because I'm looking at my screen, which is what you're seeing on your screen. Operation Lead Surge. This is going to be held, as you're probably aware, Philly Live Casino, September 11th and 12th. So we've got just a little bit less than 3 months. Now is the time to get involved in terms of getting signed up. But why would you want to sign up is a great question. So that's what we're going to cover today. My job, if I do it right, is going to make you trip over yourself trying to get signed up for this thing. I want you to know this. In my career, which spans 30 years now in this industry, I've done a lot of trainings. I've done 5-day trainings, 4-day trainings, 2-day trainings, no 3-day trainings, weirdly. A lot of 2-day trainings, a lot of shorter keynote webinar type trainings. And this is the culmination of all the training I've done in my entire career. This is going to be one of the best events that we put on, because not only is it the most up-to-date information on everything that I know and that I've learned and that my team collectively is bringing to the table, but putting it into an action-oriented, let's get our sleeves rolled up and get this done format. It's going to be a heck of an event. So let's get into it. I'm going to just give you a quick overview of what we're going to cover today, what the event is and what the event is not. Now, I'm going to talk about what the event is, and that will kind of tell you what it is not. There's 3 missions. It does have a military theme, Operation Lead Surge. So we'll use some of that lingo as we go through and discuss this. When you show up to the event in Philadelphia in September, there's going to be a definite military vibe there. Don't worry, it's not overbearing. We're not going to make you, drop and do 50. I don't know. Maybe we should make people drop and do 50. I don't know. Can you even do 50? I could probably do 50. Maybe you can, I don't know. But we're gonna have operation, mission alpha, identity, 7 lead gen methods, lead conversion engine. And I'm gonna go over this in a little bit of detail here today. And like I said, Allison, you're gonna make a surprise appearance on here. I'm not gonna ask you to participate, but I am gonna talk about a conversation that we had yesterday because I think it's relevant to this conversation. Also going to talk about something called Operation Afterburn. This is a private Q&A session that is going to be held the evening of the first night, September 11th. I believe that's a Thursday, and I'll tell you what that is and why you might want to participate. I'm going to give you 5 reasons to attend. All right, special discount will be given at the end of this for people who sign up today. I'll give you a little hint. There's going to be a special sign-up code. The word is Thursday. The reason it's Thursday because that is today, and I want you to sign up today, Thursday. All right. Quick overview for those of you who are not as familiar with level 10. I'll just let you know quickly. I think most of you on this webinar have a decent familiarity with me and my company. Level 10 Contractor. Started this company in 1994, was a general marketing consultant. Very quickly, by 2005, got heavily involved in remodeling and home services marketing. Actually, before that, did a lot. My first really major client was 1996. It was a huge roofing company in Fort Worth, Texas called Lawn Smith Roofing. And a lot of the things that we innovated all the way back in 1996 are still being used today, especially when we get to a section called lead conversion engine here in just a minute. I'll point some of those things out. I've worked with some of the biggest and most successful companies in the industry, companies that you know like Renewal by Andersen, 1-800-Hansons, a lot of smaller companies that you probably don't know because they're just companies that are locally owned and operated just like you in Cleveland and in Reno and in Seattle and all over the country. That's our bread and butter. We work with clients that are in the $10 to $20 million range. As you can see on the book that I wrote, it's on the screen right now, Unlocking Unlimited Lead Flow, a blueprint for remodeling and home services contractors to make the jump to $10 million. And that's really kind of the subtext of what we're doing here at this conference. Make the jump to $10 million. If you're already at $10 million, let's get you to 20. If you're at 20, let's go to 50. The idea here is to generate 200 to 500 qualified quotable leads per month using the lead generation methods and also the foundational things that we're going to be talking about today. Most of you are probably familiar. I do a couple of podcasts, the Level 10 Contractor Daily Podcast. There's over 2,000 episodes. It's been live every single day since September 2019. We are now transitioning the podcast into video podcasts. So there will be a YouTube channel that we'll be promoting later this month. That's all part of the podcast. Also, I do Marketing Matters podcast with the folks over at Qualified Remodeler Magazine, Pat O'Toole and their team. That one runs twice per month, just to give you an idea of who I am and what this is all about. Okay, what this event is and what this event is not. Okay, as you see on the image, this is a roll up your sleeves and get crap done kind of thing. We are holding this at a casino, but trust me, this is not something that you're there to play games. I hope you have very little, if no time to go to the casino and do stuff. Sorry, Philly Live Casino people. I know that they like to hold events there because people are going to go gamble in their casinos. And I'm not saying that you can't come early and gamble and you can't stay late and gamble, but while you're at the event, there's going to be precious little time available for you to go and goof around because this is all hands on deck. It's a roll up your sleeves and get crap done. You're not there to get one good idea. In fact, I hate that phrase. People say it all the time. Well, if I go to the conference and I just get one good idea, you don't want to get one good idea from this conference. Here's what you want to get from this conference. You want to get pages and pages and pages of notes. Your head is going to explode and you're going to do that thing that your freaking staff hates, where you go back from the conference and you've got so much stuff that you want to do and implement and get it done, all of it as fast as possible, that your staff is going to hate your ever living guts because you're going to be so excited with stuff that you've learned, that you want to do, that you want to implement. And of course, there's always that constraint of how do we actually get it done? Your staff wasn't there necessarily. Hopefully bring your staff, that would be awesome. But if your staff wasn't there, I know I do this kind of thing all the time. I go on vacation, I come back and my staff hates me because all I want to do is new and cool stuff that I thought of while I was gone. This is going to be a break your brain kind of an event. This is a marketing blueprint, okay? So there's tactical things that we're going to cover, and I'll talk about what those specific tactical things are here in just a minute. But the overall concept of this event is it's a marketing blueprint. We're gonna start with the foundation, then we're gonna get into the tactical stuff, and we're gonna wrap it in a mindset. So yes, come and learn how to do pay-per-click advertising more effectively. We're gonna cover that. learn how to do face-to-face marketing or social media marketing more effectively. We're going to cover all of that. Of course, all of this is geared specifically at contractors, but also I want you to take away the bigger picture. I don't want you to miss the forest for the proverbial trees, so to speak. I want you to be there and understand that I'm giving you a framework and a blueprint for how to run your marketing, from the foundation, the identity, which I'm going to talk about in detail in just a minute, through the seven lead generation methods, and then into the lead conversion engine. So you might think to yourself, well, we're already doing some of these things. And true enough, look, if there's 7 lead generation methods, there's a good chance that you're already doing 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of them. I want to help you do them better. And also I want to introduce you to some of the things that maybe you're not doing right now. And Allison, I want to help you understand the proper order to do these things depending on your company situation, where you're at right now. What is the next right best thing to do? Sometimes the next right best thing to do is going to be to create a foundation of organic leads through SEO. Sometimes, depending on your situation, it might be to start with pay-per-click or Facebook. Then you might be looking at OTT. I'll help you understand the proper order. Hear me loud and clear right now. There is not a proper order that is standard for everybody. There is a proper order depending on where you're at and what your situation is. And I'm going to help you understand that. That is going to come out in Operation Afterburn. I'll get to that in just a minute. Also, what the event is, it's all meat, and what it's not, it's no fluff. Okay. Now, let me tell you, there's a couple of different kinds of events. I speak at a lot of events. Many of you possibly have seen me speak at some other events. For my event, here's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so if you go to like Top 500, or if you go to Fast Remodeler, both put on by Qualified Remodeler, a great partner of ours. I love those guys. I think those are fantastic events. Those are completely different events than what this is. Here's how it's different. Those events are, hey, here's 18 different people that you're going to hear for 20 to 30 minutes, 40 minutes max, and you're going to pick little pieces and parts, and you're going to cobble it together and do the things that you learned. And also, you're going to be there to network, because there's going to be a ton of people, 300, 400, 500 people. So it's a great networking opportunity. And also there's 70 sponsors. So it's like a trade show. Go walk the halls and try to figure out which of these things make the most sense for you. It's a phenomenal type of event, the one I just mentioned. That is not this event, okay? There will be a little bit of networking there, because by definition, other people will be there. So knock yourself out and network with them. There will be sponsors there. I'll get to the sponsors in just a minute. These are hand-picked, hand-curated, hand-selected sponsors that are there for a very, very specific reason. They are there because they have products that are specifically integrated into this marketing foundation and blueprint that I'm talking about. These are things that you actually need. So here's what I'm not doing. Hey, 70 sponsors, come here and sponsor this. Look, that is an appropriate thing for a different kind of event. In this event, I only want sponsors there that actually can support doing the things that we're actually talking about in the event. In fact, many of the sponsors will be integrated into the content, because I need you to understand, for instance, when it comes to lead conversion engine, I need you to understand the softwares, the tech stack pieces that you need to actually make that work. I want those companies there to help you understand it, to present it. Look, here's what you're not doing. You're not showing up for a big fat freaking commercial. What you're showing up for is a blueprint that is going to include using some of these other third-party companies that you need to be aware of. And I'm going to make you aware of them. I think we've got like 12, 13, 14 sponsors, something like that. It's not 70, it's not 25, because I don't want all of those guys there. I only want the ones there that are going to help you. So this is all meat. It's no fluff. From the sponsors to the content. Here's what else this is not. This is not an event where you're going to hear a huge diversity of different speakers. I will personally be presenting roughly 70% of all the content over the 2 days. As you can tell by listening to me right now, I can talk. I like to talk. I have a lot to say. I'm going to be taking you through most of this stuff. My COO, Brian Bauman, will be involved in training on some of the parts. I've also got some guest speakers, which I'll cover later, that are coming in, and you'll be able to see that here in just a minute. So all meat, no fluff. This is you're there to learn kind of a thing. Now, I need you to know this. All of the sessions are going to be professionally recorded and made available to, we've got 3 levels of tickets. We've got major, general, and private. Let me say it in a slightly different order. The lowest level is private, like, you know, military theme. Those are the less expensive tickets that have less stuff included. And then there's going to be major and general tickets. I'll talk about what those are as we get to the end of this webinar, but just know this for a very brief introduction. The top 2 levels are going to have access to these professional recordings. We've got our friends Greg over at Power 100 who's going to be doing the video recording. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be available on a portal that's password protected. So if you want to get the recordings, you can share it with your team. You can re-watch it later yourself. Boom, just come in at one of the top 2 of the 3 levels, okay? Yeah, that's not even what we want. Here's what we want. Okay, mission alpha. Starting with the first mission, identity. Okay, here's what we're going to be covering. Mission 1.1 is marketing mindset. We'll spend just a little bit of time on that. Then we're going to do 1.2, which is identity overview. I'm going to help you understand identity. And in fact, I'm going to cover that a little bit right here, right now, today, because I need you to understand how incredibly important and crucial and those are the words I can think of right now. Important and crucial for everything else that we're going to do. Because if you walk in and say, well, I just want to learn the 7 lead generation methods, teach me how to do social media marketing. If you don't have a foundation of identity, it's not going to freaking work, or at least not nearly as good as it should. You want to do TV and OTT, you want to have SEO that actually works, it all has to be identity based at its foundation. So we're going to spend a lot of time covering that. And like I said, I'm actually going to cover it here on this webinar because I need you to understand that this isn't just showing up to learn how to do 7 different kinds of lead gen. You have to have this foundation. So I will cover that here shortly. Then we're going to do as a part of this, as a significant part of this Operation Lead Surge is an identity workshop where I'm going to help you walk through this actual process for your company. Okay, now I'm going to use this example. I've used this a lot when I do speaking, so maybe you've heard this. If so, please listen again because you need a refresher course. Trust me, this is the Donkey Kong. I talk about this in my live speeches. I say, look, this is a game that I used to love when I was 12 years old, and then I got an opportunity a little bit later when I was about 25 or 26. Early in my marketing career, I got an opportunity with a company called Dynamo to do marketing for their company. They sold coin-operated pool tables, air hockey machines, and video game cabinets. So they sold these actual video game cabinets. This was like a dream come true. I love video games, and now here's the cabinets. I'm marketing them. So I talked to this company, Dynamo, when we got around to talking about their video game cabinets. What makes you different? What makes you unique? Why would somebody want to buy your cabinets instead of your competitors' cabinets? Your cabinets are more expensive than the competitors' cabinets, particularly the ones that are coming from overseas that are very inexpensive, very cheap. Why would somebody want these cabinets? And they said, because they're different, because they're better. I know, but how are they different and better? And the answer was it had to do with quality. And I said, okay, quality, but everybody says quality. Even the crappy guys say they have good quality. Like, what about the quality? So they started listing off some of the things, some cleat and bracket construction, the different kinds of screws they use, the type of wood that they use. And none of it was really sounding all that interesting to me. And then finally, they mentioned something called dowel rod construction. And this is what it is. It's a picture on your screen. Again, if you've been through this with me before, bear with me. I'll be through this example, but the example is so important because I need you to understand what we're going to do at this workshop. I'm going to help you figure this out. So here's what the dowel rod construction is. Again, we're going back to video game cabinets now. You drill holes in both sides of the wood. You put the dowel rod in the middle, a little bit of industrial strength glue on there. You put it together. It makes the cabinet more able to withstand the punishment that kids are going to dish out to this kind of video game cabinet. Again, remember, this is back in the 90s, okay? And I looked at this and I thought, okay, this is interesting. This seems like something that might really have some traction from a marketing standpoint. And I looked at them and I said, okay, a couple of things. First of all, how many dowel rods are in each of these cabinets? And they looked at me like I was stupid. And they're like, we don't know. We've never counted. How would we even know that? I said, I don't know. Have somebody count. Who's the person that would know? And they said, it's a guy named Mike. Well, who's Mike? Well, he's the guy that drills the holes. Well, go ask Mike. So they went and asked Mike, and Mike said, I don't know. I just drill the holes. I have a template. I've never counted. So then we asked Mike, just freaking count the holes and the number of dowel rods. And he came back a few minutes later and he said, 172 dowel rods. And I thought, wow, that sounds like it would make that cabinet super strong. And then I said, well, how many do your competitors use? And they looked at me again like I was stupid, and they said, what do you mean? They don't use any dowel rods. We're the only company that uses dowel rods in our construction. And I thought, huh, interesting. And I looked at their ads. This is a picture of what their ads looked like back in those days. This is a magazine called Replay Magazine that went out to all of these kinds of family fun centers and arcades and bars and places that would have video game cabinets, video games, air hockeys, pool tables, things like that. And here's what their ad looked like. It's black and white, which there was a lot of black and white ads back in those days, so not a big deal, but it says HS27 cabinet, which is a stupid headline. And then look what it says. Dynamo is the #1 manufacturer of cabinets with over 200,000 cabinets on location. You know they are built to last. Okay, so built to last. How? And if you look in here, here's what you see. On the third bullet point, built with both cleat and dowel construction. So they're taking this amazing thing that they do and they're completely either ignoring it or in this case, extremely minimizing it. And people are looking at that going, okay, whatever. And look, let's be frank. Who's going to actually read those bullet points? Answer, 0 people, nobody. So they've got this amazing competitive advantage and they don't tell anybody. So I said, hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we do this? Why don't we, oh, I don't know, tell people. And this is the foundation of everything that we're going to be talking about at Operation Lead Surge. Is building a foundation where we take the things that you do, I'll show you how in a minute, and we create an identity and communicate it with power, precision, and passion. Now, here's what it looked like in this particular case. I wrote this ad, and you can see this was written on Microsoft Word back in 1996. 172 hardwood dowels reinforce every Dynamo HS27 cabinet. Other brands, unexplainably, have 0. Or Allison, inexplicably, either way. And then it talks about how they last 2.5 times longer. They're engineered to withstand the kind of punishment video games are prone to: kicking, shaking, punching, jostling, flat out manhandling that's bound to take place. But instead of hoping people treat the games easier, we build them stronger. Hardwood dowels, 172. We guarantee them. They'll last for years to come. If you want more information, fill this out, okay? Now, I don't want you to worry too much about the actual format of the ad. This is the 90s, okay? It looks like crap because back then everything looked like crap. We didn't have cool stuff back then, but now we have cool stuff. But here's what I want you to take away from this. When we sent this marketing out in Replay Magazine, in mailers, in faxes that we would send to prospects, this immediately increased the number of sales of these cabinets by 3 to 4 times within 2 months by just telling the story better, taking things that they already did and then putting them out there in a way that was interesting and engaging. Remember, the definition of identity is using power, precision, and passion in your language to communicate who you are, how you're different, why you're better, and what people can expect when they do business with you. This is what we're going to teach you how to do at this event, okay? Now, there's 5 pillars of identity. You can see them on your screen. We'll go through these, and we're going to do an exercise. We're spending time on this. Roll up, I don't have sleeves because I wear short sleeves, but roll up your sleeves, and here's what you're going to see. We're going to go through each of these, and look at the bottom of your screen right now. Identify 3 from each of these pillars, and then find stories, examples, and comparisons. So in the case of Dynamo, workmanship, quality materials, stronger, more durable, attention to detail. Here's what we came up with: 172 hardwood dowel rods. Now, this is where I'm going to talk about you, Allison. I was on a conversation yesterday with Allison Ricky from Ascension Roofing or Home Products. I'm not sure. Ascension anyway. Amazing story. Allison is an amazing person for a lot of reasons. I won't go into detail. I don't want to embarrass you, Allison, but just know this. She's a veteran. It's a woman-owned business, and this woman kicks ass and takes names. Make no mistake about it. And as I was talking to her about it, she had seen this exact example with 172 hardwood dowel rods, and I got on a call with her yesterday, and she said, I have thought about this literally 10,000 times in the last 2 weeks. What is it that we can do? And she says, I think I know what it is, and it has to do with something called dual seal strips. This is for roofing. And I said, what's that? And she said, basically, it's like you have a seal strip on both ends of the shingle so that it can't be lifted up by wind and get destroyed. In fact, when the tornadoes hit St. Louis last month, they proceeded on to Southern Illinois and hit her town. And in her neighborhood, there was something like 25 homes. Forgive me, Allison, if I'm not getting the details exactly right, but something like 25 homes all around there, completely destroyed, roofs, chaos, everything like you would expect in the aftermath of a storm. And her roof, built to her specifications with dual seal strips, completely unharmed. The roof was in perfect shape. right there in the middle of this apparent war or storm zone. And I thought, wow, this is really interesting. Do you have pictures? Yes. Do you have aerial footage, drone footage? Yeah, we do. Okay. Also, by the way, we put 6 nails per shingle instead of 4 like our competitors. Okay. Also, by the way, these dual seal strips, they're not available locally. No other roofers use them. We have to have them imported in from other states where they're more common. Nobody else uses them. And I thought, wow, here's what we've just discovered. We've just discovered 172 hardwood dowel rods for this company. Not only is it a woman-owned, veteran-owned business, but we've got this dual seal strip story with photographic proof that it works and a story that we can tell about how we do this. And by the way, we broke this down even further. How much does it cost to put dual seal strips on a typical roof, 30 squares? Answer, about $280. How much does it cost to install them? Answer, about $120, because it takes longer to do this. So we now have the bones for this story. Look at the bottom of the screen right now. Find stories, examples, and comparisons, and I'm going to help you do that in this event. Thank you, Allison, for letting me share that story this morning with this group. I think it's important because I need you to understand there are things that you do. Your company is great. You spent a long time innovating and get very good at what you do, and you're not telling the story. Now, how do we tell that story? Answer. 7 lead generation methods. Okay, and here they are on the screen. Now, this is where the rubber hits the road. So you create the identity. Remember, we're going to go through marketing mindset. We're going to talk about identity. Then we're going to go through the identity workshop where I'm going to help you figure this out. I'll have staff on hand that'll be helping you figure this out. Okay. Now, 7 lead generation methods. First, owning organic search. And you think, okay, SEO. I want to own SEO. I want to get the leads that are coming in organically from Google, from Bing, from ChatGPT, from Grok, wherever AI platforms are going to be a very important part of search moving forward. Okay, great. Let me help you understand something. If you've got a powerful identity, here's what that's going to do. It's going to make your website more interesting, more engaging, and more higher converting, all of which are going to allow Google, I'll use the word Google, but I also mean ChatGPT and other engines. It's going to help them see that people are engaged on your website. It's going to push your website up in the rankings for the geo keyword pairs that you are optimizing for. Now, as you may be aware, and if you're not, I'm going to tell you right now, my company, Level 10 Contractor, we are the industry best company at organic search. Why? Because we understand something called, geo keyword pairs, which means that we have to optimize specific pages on your website for specific locations, specific towns. In the case of Allison at Ascension, we talked about a town called Marion. It's in Illinois. It's in Southern Illinois. We have to create pages specifically optimized for Marion and also for roofing, and Marion and for siding, and Marion and for windows, and whatever other products you have in whatever towns you serve. And we're very good at doing this, and I'm going to show you exactly step by step how to do this. If you follow this protocol, you have a very good chance of winning SEO, getting the leads that are going to your competitors right now. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to show you how to do it. And also, we're going to do an audit on your website. If you attend this event, before you ever show up, we're going to audit your website, and I'm going to show you exactly how and where and why it's strong, but more likely, spoiler alert, where it's weak and where there's problems and where you need to improve your website, both in terms of conversion and in terms of geo keyword optimized content. Okay, this is going to be a little bit nerdy. It's going to be a little bit detailed, but it's okay. Don't worry. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to make it easy to understand. That's my superpower. I take stuff that is hard to understand and I make it easy to understand. That's why I talk about Donkey Kong. That's why I talk about 172 hardwood dowel rods. I want you to know that everything at this conference, while hard to do, because marketing's hard, business is hard, everybody knows that, I'm going to make it easy to understand. Doesn't mean that it's easy to implement, but it's going to be easy to understand. Look, I wish I had a magic button that just made your life easy, green light all the way. Look, I'm going to tell you, as a dude that has 7 kids and a business and all, just the normal life stuff, life's hard, business is hard, marketing is hard. My job is to distill it, make it easy, explain it to you so that you go, okay, now I understand how this works. And I'm going to tell you, You can go to all the marketing seminars you want. You can go to all the marketing workshops you want, inside this industry, outside this industry. Go to all of them that you want. I promise you, you're not going to have it explained to you in as easy of a way to understand as you will at this workshop. Then we're going to get into dominating paid search, pay per click. There are definite do's and don'ts when it comes to paid search, things that make it work better and things that make it work worse. Let me give you a half a clue. Just try to guess. What do you think one of the major things that determines whether or not paid search works well or not is? Let's cue the Jeopardy theme song for a second. Identity. Yes, because guess what? If you've got an ad that people click on and they come to a landing page where your identity is telling them how you're different and why you're better. Think about this. The person is searching for roofing or siding or air conditioner or whatever you do because they're proactively looking for it. So the question, why should I buy it from you instead of somebody else, is very, very relevant. So if we've got a strong identity, they click on the ad, they come through to our landing page and it says, here's how we're different and here's how we're better. Boom. We got a lot better chance of closing that person. Do you see why I say it's foundational and this identity thing is so, so, so important, okay? This is not just, hey, learn how to do pay-per-click and how to, that's my nerd voice, right? Like some nerd trying to teach you how to do this. If they don't know how to do identity, you're already half dead before you ever start. Next thing, face-to-face marketing. I'm gonna bring in some ringers for this. This is not my personal forte, although I have some pretty good ideas on this. I'm going to bring in some ringers. We're going to talk about face-to-face marketing, canvassing. My biggest clients are all involved in canvassing. I really recommend it. It's a good way to get I was going to say it's a good way to get the phone to ring. That's absolutely not the case. It's a way to make leads instead of waiting for leads to come in, okay? So we'll talk about canvassing. We'll also talk a little bit about shows and events and a little bit about retail marketing. And that's going to be a part of this. Guess what makes a difference when it comes to face-to-face marketing? Ding, you got it. Identity. Next, referral generation. Okay, here's a good goal for you. Repeat and referral should be 25% of all of the leads that come into your business, and 50% is the ideal that you're going to be shooting for. But I don't even want to talk about 50% because most people just hear that and they just fall over dead because they think it's never going to happen. So 25%. What can you do to get 25% of all of your leads to be repeat and referral? Answer, you have to have systems in place. I'm going to show you systems that you can put in place. I'm going to introduce you to companies like Get the Referral and G4 Marketing that are going to be very instrumental in helping you getting more referrals. I'm going to introduce you in just a minute to something called the Brand Ambassador Program, which is monumentally important in getting repeat and referral business. So this is going to be covered. If you look at repeated referral business as, I don't know, we would rather just spend money to go do some lead gen stuff. Come on, people. It's a framework that I'm showing you here. Mindset, identity, 7 lead generations. Which one should you do? Answer, you should be doing all of them. However, also very quickly, let me add, not necessarily right away. There is a method to the madness and it's going to depend on your particular situation. But let me tell you this, all of you should be focusing on referral generation. We're going to cover it in detail at this event. Next, media advertising mastery. Okay, if you start getting into the $5 million range and you're not leaning into media advertising, you are kneecapping your future growth, because here's what happens over time. This is how you become a legacy company that has a ginormous amount of leads coming in all the time, no matter what, okay? Answer, you get to where people know your company and you say, oh, well, we've been around for 25 years. We do $5 million a year in business. Everybody knows us. And the answer is, no, they don't. No, they don't. If you're doing $5 million in business, depending on the average sale, let's say you're doing 200, 300, whatever it is, customers a year, you've been doing that for 20 years, so you've got 5,000, 6,000 customers. The answer that you need to be focusing on is, that's a very small percentage of all the people out there. For you to be building a company that's going to, this is like growing crops, okay, growing trees that you can perpetually eat the fruit from instead of just going out and hunting, okay? It's hunting versus farming, which is actually the metaphor that I use in the actual workshop. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use radio and TV, and more importantly, as we move into the 2025 and beyond, OTT, connected television, streaming television. It's super, very hyper targetable, both geography and demographics. It's amazing. I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you results from people. By the way, I'm going to show you results from all of this from clients that we have that are doing all of this stuff. So we're going to cover media advertising mastery. Also, by the way, guess what? If you don't have a strong identity, your media advertising is going to fall short. You have to tell your story over time through media, whether it's radio, TV, OTT, or a combination of those things. You've got to be telling people who you are, how you're different, why you're better, what they can expect when they do business with you, communicating all of that with what? Power, precision, and passion, okay? All of these lead generation methods rely on that. All right, moving right along, we're gonna wrap up here in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most. Social media supremacy. What I'm talking about here is video-based social media marketing, both paid advertising and also organic posting. There's a massive opportunity for you to get people in your local community to see your posts if you know how to do them properly. So now we got a combination of two things. Number one is, oh, broken record, Rich, your identity. But then also we've got to lean into what are called viral hooks. What's a viral hook? It's a way of saying something that gets people's attention in the first 1 to 2, 3 maximum seconds and makes them go, what is this? And then they're watching it and we're educating them on what? Oh, our identity, and we're getting people to want to at least understand who we are. And here's what happens. If we get a good social media viral hook, and people who aren't even necessarily in the market for, let's say, roofing or kitchens or whatever it is you sell, if they see this ad and they stop on it and they watch it for a minute, Facebook takes that as a signal that, oh, this is something that people are interested in. It's an engagement, and then it starts showing it to other people. So you can actually get social media engagement through paid ads, obviously, but also through non-paid ads, just through organic posts. But you've got to have video marketing, it's got to be identity oriented, and you've got to have the viral hooks. Guess what I'm going to show you how to do in this workshop? Create video marketing that is identity oriented with viral hooks, okay? It's going to be we're going to over index on this topic at the event. It's going to be important. And then number 7 is going to be lead partner domination. And I have personally scoured and looked for the best lead aggregation partners, and I have found one. It's called Networks. You'll see them there. We're going to talk about this. It is going to lead us right into our next thing, which is lead conversion engine. This is a photo that I pulled off the internet of a big engine just to prove the point that you need a big engine, I guess. So this is going to be speed to lead using follow-up automation and AI. If you are not using AI in your follow-up systems, that's just dumb. The time is now. And so maybe you're saying, well, I don't know what to use specifically. I don't know how to do this specifically. That's why you're coming to this event in September, so I can show you exactly what you need to know and exactly how to do it. Also, presentation and sales process optimization, making sure that your presentations are as, shall we say, technologically advanced and cool as possible. Also, your sales process optimizations, you'll be hearing from a couple partners like Engage and Paradigm Vendo. Also using financing as a weapon. I've got a partner called Improvify that is freaking amazing. You're going to love hearing about this, but more importantly, if you're not using financing as a secret weapon to get more closes at higher amounts, closing more of the leads that you're talking to, that's just dumb. The verdict is in, and it's clear that financing makes a big difference. So I'm going to show you how to integrate financing into your sales presentation from the very beginning, when you first set foot in the house, throughout the presentation, and then closing at the end with a strong finance offer. So that is something that we're going to cover. Also, the brand ambassador program. I'm not going to talk a ton about that right now. Here's what you need to know. It's a super important way to, number one, get reviews. Online reviews they will never be, let me try to say this the right way. They are only going to become increasingly important as AI starts to aggregate reviews. You need to be focused on how to get more reviews. The brand ambassador program is the best way that I know to get literally up to 60% of all your completed jobs to give you 5-star reviews. Brand ambassador program. Also, it's going to give you things like photos of your customers, photos of your jobs that you can then use as social proof in your marketing. You need to have a brand ambassador program. I'm going to bring in some special speakers to talk about that. You're going to be blown away. It's going to be amazing. And then let's talk about the special sessions. Then I'll tell you how to get signed up. Okay. Special sessions. We're going to have a session on disc profiling by Brad Yoho from Dave Yoho and Associates. Also, Brian Elias is going to make a special appearance. If you know him from 1-800-HANSONS and currently from Refloor. Also, we're going to talk about sales leadership with Chuck Toki. These are going to be special sessions, and the sales leadership session is going to be held in conjunction with the Operation Afterburn, which I'll talk about in a minute. But first, let me mention Metal Roofing Alliance is our title sponsor. We're doing this conference in association with them. This is properly said, the Metal Roofing Alliance presents Level 10 Contractor Operation Lead Surge, if that makes sense. So there are going to be quite a few folks there from the Metal Roofing Alliance, and we've got a couple special sessions that are breakouts in a different room specifically for them. Now, I want to talk about Operation Afterburn. Operation Afterburn is a session that I'll be holding on the evening of the first night, so Thursday, September 11th. Originally, it was scheduled to go from 8 to 10 p.m. I know that's late. Oh, Rich, that's late. We're going to be tired. Yeah, I know. We only have a limited amount of time together. How about we do this? How about we maximize the amount of time that we have together? I'm going to have a very limited amount of time to be with you. Likewise, you're going to have a very limited time to be with me. Let's utilize it. Don't go out to the casino and gamble money. Don't go to the bar and get drunk. Go get drunk any other night you want. This is a night to come together and say, let's go through, ask me any question. Let's talk about your business. Let's get this out in the open. I will actually go in this session as late as the last person stays. So it's stated that it's going to go from 8 to 10. I suspect we'll go to 11, 12, 1. I don't really know. I don't actually care, because I'm on the mentality for this event that I'll sleep when I'm dead, okay? And I want you to sleep when you're dead too. By the way, it's all going to be recorded, so if you happen to miss something by dozing off on day 2 because you stayed up too late, no problem. We've got you. It's recorded if you're in the upper tier registrations. Also, as part of Operation Afterburn, we're actually going to start a little bit early at about 7:15, and that's when Chuck Toki is going to come in and do the sales leadership session. So if you want to be involved in that, you have to be signed up for the Operation Afterburn session. Okay, so I'm going to show you the website right now, and I just take a note of this. You get a special discount today. It's going to be 20% off our lowest prices. I'll talk to you about what those are. You're going to need to use, choose the sponsor MRA and use the code Thursday. I'll show you that right now. Let me go over to the website. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Should be up on your screen now. This is the homepage, Operation Lead Surge. It's got information here. Note that if you click on these Learn Mores, it'll bring up videos. If you didn't have enough of watching me today, you can watch me there, okay? The agenda is laid out here, so you can see all the days, day 1, day 2. If you go down day 1, for instance, go to the end of the day, you will see Commander Circle Operation Afterburn from 8 to 10. I just talked about that, but you can see where everything else falls into here. Note, this schedule is subject to minor alterations between now and the day of the event. The venue is Philly Live Casino. I'm just going through the website real quick. You can see here is a very impressive looking casino, hotel, whatever. I don't care about that. Here's what I care about. This is our meeting room. It's a professional room. It's awesome. It's got built-in amenities that make this event not feel like you're just sitting at the freaking Holiday Inn Conference Center. This is a real deal, cool place. Okay, there is an FAQ section. I'm going to skip tickets. I'll get to that in just a minute. FAQs, if you want to read those, you can read through those. Sponsors, just to give you an idea, our title sponsor again is MRA. Then we've got gold sponsors, Ciro, Paradigm Vendo, GTR, Improvify, G4 Marketing. We've got one silver sponsor, which is Networks. Then we've got a handful of bronze sponsors, which you can see here on the screen. You'll be hearing from some of these at the event. Okay, I want to go to the ticket page. When you go to the ticket page, it says enlist now, and it's going to pop this up and it's going to say which sponsor referred you to the conference. Now, if you would like to get the 20% discount that is on top of all of the other discounts, and I'll tell you what the other discounts are here in just a minute, but I need you to pay really close attention right now. If you want to get an additional 20% discount that is only available today, what's today? Thursday, June 19th. If you want to get this discount, you can do it today. You need to choose Metal Roofing Alliance. And you might say to yourself, well, I don't have anything to do with Metal Roofing Alliance. Here's what you need to know. Programming this website to do what we wanted to do was incredibly difficult. So I'm going to be using Metal Roofing Alliance. If you'll click on now, if you click on any of these other ones, you won't get the extra 20% discount. I'm just telling you right now. You can click on level 10, you won't get the extra discount. You can click on top rep, you won't get the extra discount. If you want the discount today, click now. By the way, if you're listening to this anytime after Thursday, June 19th, then just click on whatever one because you're not, the discount code that I'm about to give you won't work anyway. It only works today. So click on Metal Roofing Alliance, and here's what you're going to see. Well, actually, I need to redo this because it only does this once per session. So let me show you what this looks like when you go there. Operation Lead Surge. When you click on tickets, choose Metal Roofing Alliance, and then it's going to ask you for a discount code. This is where you type the word Thursday, and then that will unlock the savings, okay? Oh, come on. I don't know how to spell. There, okay. I use the word Thursday. And then here's what you'll see. There's 3 different levels, captain, major, and general. And I want you to understand what's involved here. You get conference attendance here. All of these already include. So the list prices are here, 1,000, 2,500, 4,500. You'll see the final prices are based on all of the discounts combined. So there's a 40% early bird discount included on all of these. That is good until July 4th. Patriotic. There's also a standard sponsor discount that is 20%. The MRA discount is a little bit bigger because understand these guys are our title sponsor. They're putting a ton of effort and money into this event to support it. So we're giving their members a little bit extra discount, but today you can get that extra discount. All you have to do is, again, remember, click on the sponsor MRA. I know that you're not affiliated with MRA, but click on it anyway, and then type the word Thursday. That'll get you these prices, and then you'll have the prices $320, $880, and $1680. Now, here's what's included: conference attendance, the notebook, swag pack. We're going to do the website audit for you, and then additional people will get an extra $100 off. So if you choose 2 or 3 or 4 people, those people will have a discounted rate even below the $320. Okay, on the major level, you get all of the captain benefits, plus you get priority seating. You get to sit closer, which means I'll make more fun of you probably. Also, the audio and video recordings will be available to you. Also, the Operation Afterburn is available to you. Also, there is a 12-month mastermind follow-up that is included with this, where I will be meeting with everybody on the 2 highest levels here, major and general. I will be meeting with you in a monthly Zoom to cover things from the workshop. So it'll be an ongoing Q&A session. You'll get 12 of those sessions. They'll be Zoomed, they'll be recorded. So if you can't show up for whatever reason, no problems. We'll record it and we'll put it in the same portal where the recordings are for the workshop itself. All right, so that's the Get Rich Mastermind. Get it? You get rich. Cute, huh? And then the second person for your company will be half price on this level only. So it's not $100 off, it's half price. And if you want to enlist on that level, click enlist now. On the general level, you get all of the major level benefits, plus I'll do a 60-minute consultation with you after the event. I want to make sure that you've been through the event so we can apply the things that you've learned. Also, we will actually include your hotel on this level. So that's a $550 value. That's 1 room for 2 nights. So that's nice. And then your second person is free on this level, not half price. And then additional people. So if you bring 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, whatever, then you'll get those for half price. So click on the enlist now for whichever level you're interested in. It'll bring you to the shopping cart. And then you can add as many people as you like. If you add 2 on the general level, you see the price stays the same because remember, the second person is free on this level. If you add a third person, then it adds a third person for that half price. Okay, and then proceed to checkout and so forth. All right, that's it for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take any questions that anybody has. If you've got questions, please ask them in the questions thing, and we'll go from there. All right, questions. Will you set the indoor temperature to 40 degrees and freeze us out? Yes, Barry, absolutely. Tables or no tables, there will be tables there. It'll be set up classroom style. Not round tables, but classroom style. Can we get the agenda in PDF, not black and white print? Yes, we can get that to you. Any other questions that people have about the event or anything that I've talked about today? Type them into the questions box right now. If you do, we will answer them. If you do not, I am not a mind reader. I can't understand. All right, anyone else? I do like the question about setting the temperature to 40 degrees. Are you going to cover AI marketing? Answer, yes and no. No, we're not going to have a specific section on AI marketing. Yes, we will integrate the topic of AI as it is appropriate to the various elements that I just covered in this preview. So yes, we will be talking about AI. No, we will not be talking about, hey, here's AI marketing, because AI is distributed among all of the different things that we're talking about. So obviously, Jürgen, man, I hope you come from Europe. That would be amazing. But yeah, we'll be talking about that as it relates to these various things. Any other questions? I missed the first 20 minutes. Is there a recording? No, there is. Randy, just kidding. Yes, there is a recording. So we'll get that sent out to you within about an hour or two. So just keep an eye on your email. You'll see that if you registered. No problem. Thanks, Randy. Anybody else? Last chance to ask questions. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off and you're going to go sign up. I'll sign off. You sign up. What do you think? All right. Thanks so much for your time today, folks. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in Philadelphia. If you have any questions, you can send me an email personally at Rich, R-I-C-H, not K, I'm not Rick, I'm Rich, R-I-C-H at level10contractor.com. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.